I refused to let my adopted son choose the movie. My wife is furious.
Was it like Big Brother or Cinderella?
Yeah, who knows? We're going to have to figure out exactly what movie it was. I, 45 male, have 4 sons. 3 biological, 17, 15, and 12 male, and 1 adopted, 13 male. We adopted Jake when he was 3 years old. He came from a really difficult background, and we've always tried to give him as much love and support as possible. But if I'm being honest, it hasn't been easy. By the way, this comes from user Dazzling Pumpkin 9400 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Jake has always been more of a challenge compared to my other boys. He's extremely sensitive and gets upset over the smallest things. Due to the trauma he experienced early on, Jake is mentally and emotionally more like an 8 or 9-year-old, even though he's 13. This isn't because of any special needs, it's just the result of what he's been through. When he was younger, he struggled a lot in school to the point where he was eventually expelled from his primary school for behavioral issues. It was a really tough time for our family. We ended up enrolling him in a social, emotional, and mental health school, which costs around £70,000 per year.
$87,000.
While the school has helped him somewhat, Jake still causes a lot of problems. The school often calls us because Jake's had a meltdown or couldn't handle something, and it's clear he needs a lot more attention than our other kids. At home, Jake's neediness can be overwhelming. He's constantly seeking reassurance and gets upset if things don't go exactly his way. My wife has always been very patient with him, maybe too patient in my opinion. She tends to cater to his needs a lot more than the other boys, and I can see it starting to wear on them. I can tell they're starting to feel like Jake gets special treatment.
Ooh.
It's kind of like a reverse of the typical, right? Where it's like the adopted child is getting special treatment. And the biological children are like, hey, how come you love the adopted kids so much, eh?
Yeah.
When I feel like it's usually the opposite.
This is interesting.
I mean, hey, he'll probably grow out of it, right? He just needs time. He just needs time and care.
I also wonder why he is acting like this.
Trauma. It always goes back to trauma, folks. Earlier today, during our usual Saturday family movie night, this issue came to a head. We always vote on the movie to keep things fair. The older boys and I wanted to watch the first Avengers movie. When we voted, Jake was the only one who wanted to watch Spider-Verse instead. Jake loves Spider-Verse, and we've watched it several times before. Seeing how upset Jake was getting, my wife suggested that we just watch Spider-Verse to avoid a meltdown. No, but you can't do that.
Can't keep doing that.
Nah, you can't do that.
That's dangerous.
Then they just have a meltdown anytime they want what they want.
Yeah.
She felt it wasn't worth the fight and wanted to keep the peace, especially considering how sensitive Jake is. But I felt like it wasn't fair to the other boys who had won the vote fairly. I said, no, we're sticking to the movie that won the vote. Jake predictably got really upset, stormed off to his room, and refused to come back downstairs. After the movie, my wife and I had a huge argument. She said I was being too harsh and that I don't understand how difficult things are for Jake because of his past. She thinks I should have just let him have his way to avoid the conflict, but I'm tired of walking on eggshells and constantly giving in to Jake at the expense of the other boys.
Yeah.
Can't be at the expense of the other kids.
No, absolutely not.
And this feels like it's a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Jake at this point has learned that if he throws a tantrum,
he'll get what he wants.
He gets what he wants.
Yeah.
And if he just doesn't relent, he will always win.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like he's learned. I don't think it's right to let Jake dictate everything just because he's more sensitive. Am I the a-hole for not letting my adopted son choose the movie on family movie night, even though it upset him and led to a huge argument with my wife?
Ooh.
Let's decide.
No, you're not the a-hole.
I say no.
I understand that Jake is probably going through a lot more than your other boys. And maybe I would, I'm always about seeking a professional, trying to understand 100%. That. But if you let this, behavior continue, they're not going to be functioning adults. Because as parents, my parents always taught me, my mom made me do laundry at 10.
She's you got to find the right opportunity to have these life lessons. Yeah. This is like a perfect one.
Yeah, because she's like, you're not going to live here all the time. I can't be doing your laundry all the time.
Right.
So I had to learn how to do that.
Learn how to do laundry because you're going to need to know that.
Yeah.
Lesson.
Yeah.
You don't always get to pick the movie because you didn't win the vote.
Also give Avengers a chance. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's not bad. But let's get into this update.
Not bad.
Well, I mean, it's not bad. Hi all, this is an update post I made about 4 months ago. For full context, you might want to check out the original post. After reading through your comments and taking some time to reflect, I came to realize I've been too harsh on Jake, not just regarding the movie night incident, but in general. Jake has had a difficult journey since he joined our family, but that's not his fault. When we chose to adopt him, we committed to supporting him through every challenge. He didn't choose his trauma, and he certainly didn't choose to end up in a family where he might feel different from his siblings. That responsibility lies with us. We've made a few changes, starting with family movie night. Instead of voting, which often left Jake feeling excluded, we've switched to a rotation where each person takes a turn picking the movie. This simple change has removed a lot of the tension and has made movie night feel more inclusive for everyone. Honestly, that's such a good idea.
Yeah,
I can't believe you didn't think about that.
I love that. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Just remove the vote.
Yeah.
There's no vote. There's choosing
no
tonight.
Dictatorship.
Yeah. I honestly can't believe I didn't think of it sooner. Thank you to everyone who suggested it. In hindsight, I realized my original post felt more like a venting session, and I regret the way that I spoke about Jake. I needed to get those feelings out, but now I understand it wasn't fair to talk about him in that way, even anonymously. Wow, did we really whiff on that?
Dang, did we not catch that?
We missed that entirely? Dang.
Oh, wow.
Do we hate adopted children?
I guess we're about to get ripped to shreds right now.
We hate adopted people.
I guess
that's it.
Dang. Just because of a movie, man. Wow, we're terrible.
He was just venting.
He was just venting. We were seeing where he's coming from. We weren't saying anyone was bad.
Yeah.
You know what? I stand by everything I said. I didn't say Jake was bad. I didn't say the dad was bad. I was just like, stand up.
I think the only thing we were saying is like, you can't just let a kid have anything they want when they throw a tantrum, because you're teaching them that they can just throw tantrums.
Yeah. I stand by everything I say. You know what? Rip me to shreds. I don't care.
But it's also trauma oriented.
But
still, even with that,
I said seek a professional.
You can't. Since then, I've started journaling to work through my emotions privately and with a clearer head. I'm really grateful for the wake-up call your comments provided. One point raised repeatedly in the comments was the glass child concept, the idea that our other boys might feel overlooked because of Jake's needs. That really hit home for me. To address this, we've started a new Sunday tradition. Each Sunday, I take one of our boys out for a full day, just the two of us, doing something that he chooses. It's been great for all of us and has given me precious one-on-one time with each of my sons. My relationship with them feels stronger, and it's something I look forward to every week. Jake and I also had a long heart-to-heart after my original post. Opened up about feeling like his opinions and wants don't matter, and that he sometimes believes I love my other boys more.
Oh no.
Hearing that broke my heart.
Aww.
And I took responsibility for my role in making him feel this way. His early trauma definitely impacts his sense of security, but I can't ignore that my own behavior contributed to it as well. I'm committed to showing him that he's just as valued and loved as his brothers. And by the way, I would value and love you if you joined us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST when we go live on YouTube. All you gotta do is tap our profile.
Easy money.
And then maybe tap it again. You might have to tap it twice.
Maybe.
You tap it and then tap it again.
This story is so wholesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I like that everyone is sharing their feelings, and I feel like when more people share where they're coming from, we get clarity of where everybody's at.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this started as like maybe a little venti, just being like, oh, my 13-year-old son is so hard to deal with. Yeah. And now he's like, well, now I have a game plan, and my life is
it's on the up.
My relationship with all of my children is stronger than it's been.
Yeah.
So
it's okay to have a vent sesh and get ideas from other people. This is how beautiful it can turn out to be.
Sometimes the internet is just a beautiful little place.
Yeah, and lots of times it's not.
Yeah, but so let's make sure it is by finishing this story off. Finally, some people asked about therapy. Jake's been on the waiting list for a more specialized therapist for a while now, well before I made the original post. In the meantime, he does receive some therapy through his school and general therapy through child and adolescent mental health services, which helps, but we know he'll benefit much more once he has a consistent access to a trauma-informed therapist. We're hopeful this will come through soon. Thanks again to everyone who shared insights and advice. These changes have made a huge difference in our family's dynamics, and I feel closer to all my sons. I'm working every day to be a better parent to Jake and a more balanced dad for all of our kids.
Wow, that was nice. I love that.
Love it when somebody's willing to put in the work and they're not afraid of therapy. They see it as a positive, and he's putting in the work.
Putting it in, guys.
Nice.
Beautiful. Congrats. And that's the end of that story.